Welcome to the podcast. Welcome to This Could Make Us Famous podcast.
Starring Jason
And
guest Charlie.
Guest Charlie. That was beautiful.
Very beautiful, very beautiful.
All right. Welcome back to This Can Make Us Famous podcast. I'm your host, Jason McCormick, and like we said before, our guest, Mr. Charlie Bartha, my stepfather-in-law. It's good, man. There's a lot to cover today. I hope you liked our little epic intro we had there.
At least I didn't sing.
I promise I sing much better than that. So,
And I sing much worse than that, so. Hey, remember that time in church?
oh my God. I actually still have that video. I found it, but they were singing the song. What was it? It was Arise, My Love.
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
Arise, my love.
Arise, my love, arise. And it was for Easter.
Yeah.
And oh my goodness, it was hilarious because they had like this special sound effect, like what was it? Thunder and lightning.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you can't hear lightning, but the thunder, it was hilarious. So it was like awkwardly placed so that when the thunder hit, it was just so unbelievably loud. And I was holding the camera filming them, and I started laughing so hard I was shaking. You could see the camera shaking, and people were staring at me, and I couldn't, when you get the laughs and you just can't stop, and it's in the worst time, like if you're in a funeral, or it's never happened to me at a funeral, but anyways,
That'd be very odd.
And your daughter was there, Chelsea, and she's like, stop it, stop. And she was laughing, and it hurt, man. I had to, it was embarrassing. But anyways, there's a lot that we want to talk about today. And I hope you noticed that our lighting is much better. We have a really cool setup. It's kind of ghetto rigged, but much better lighting. So the things that we want to talk about today, and I was telling you earlier, I've been watching this TV show, and it's called Waco. I'm pretty sure the show has been around for a while. I think it just hit Netflix, but people are talking about it right now, and it's about that Waco massacre.
It said it was a Netflix original.
Really?
Yeah.
It's a Netflix original?
That's what it said when I Googled it.
Okay. Well, I guess I thought it was already on another station, and then Netflix bought it. But anyways, people are watching it everywhere, kind of like Tiger King. But yeah, it's crazy. It's about the Waco massacre and what happened. Man, that's pretty messed up. I mean, the TV show kind of sensationalizes it and makes this guy like glamorous, the leader. His name is what, David? What's his name? David.
I'll tell you here in a second.
David Koresh.
Yeah.
He's the leader, and they did like polygamy, and they had their own little cult, and they all lived together, and he kind of brainwashed all the people and made them just follow everything he said. I mean, I obviously know that the TV show is not going to be like completely accurate, to what actually happened. I know they try to make it more appealing and make it more like a TV show, but so anyways, it's pretty good. Do you remember the Waco massacre?
Yes.
That was in 1993.
Yes.
You were
Where was I in 1993?
Shoot, was I in diapers? No, I was just out of diapers. What were you doing in 1993 when the Waco massacre happened?
I was working.
Nothing. Working. Well,
working,
yeah.
Well, working. Yeah.
I hope you were working.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out if that was the year Elizabeth was born, but it's not. That was the year that
Elizabeth's his daughter, by the way. His youngest.
My nephew, my oldest nephew, was born.
Okay.
93.
All I remember is it was people blamed the FBI, or was it the ATF? I think it was the ATF.
By the way, their cult name was Branch Davidians.
Branch Davidians, yeah. So, I mean, there's a lot of those cults that that blow up all over the place. But yeah, these what happened to him? I have mixed emotions on it, but basically, the show has been really really good. So if you haven't watched it, it's on Netflix. It's called Waco. It's so far really really good, and it does a good job at showing you how cult leaders operate and the power they have over people, and how they can flip just about anybody um, and get them on their side. And so it's pretty crazy. I'm so far I really love the show. I think it's I think I'm going to continue watching it. I'm only on
You're
season
not craving
one.
Kool Aid, are you?
I'm not craving Kool Aid,
Okay.
but that does sound really good right now, though. I like red Kool Aid, the red Kool Aid. But yeah, I'm gonna keep watching it, and I'll keep you guys posted. I don't know if you guys are watching the show. Maybe comment below and let me know what your thoughts are on Waco, and even outside of the TV show, what you think about the whole true story of Waco and what happened, and if you think that that the FBI was to blame and that these people were pretty much innocent. I think it's kind of 50-50. Um, they probably should have surrendered without putting up a fight. And especially the children basically burning to death or dying with the leader, his children. Um, it's pretty messed up. But I mean, it's easy to speculate and have opinions about anything. And if you're not there and you're not up behind the scenes, you just really don't know what truly was going on. But it just seems pretty messed up to me. What
Yeah. Oh,
happened?
1993 was the year Elizabeth was born.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
He forgot when his daughter was
Yeah.
born.
You know, that was 27 years ago. So.
Hmm. So I don't know. I'm definitely gonna check it out more. I'm on episode 2, like halfway through it. So I don't know. I'm barely into it, and I'm pretty hooked. So Waco, check it out. And another show I do want to talk about is the Tiger King. I gotta bring that up. I know Charlie said he has not seen Tiger King.
I know nothing about Tiger
He
King.
knows nothing about Tiger King.
Is he related to Lion King?
uh, no, not really.
Oh.
But I okay. So
Wimba
what?
wamba wimba wamba.
So since we're talking about TV shows, I wanted to bring up Tiger King. I have a new theory. I think it's a really good one. My wife kind of hinted at it a little bit, and then I kind of, you know, dug deeper on it. And I think this is crazy. People are going to think I'm crazy for saying this, but there's a possibility that Carol Baskin, that's right,
Hey, all you cool cats and kittens.
Carol Baskin, that was Carol Baskin. She may be innocent of this crime. Apparently, let me fill Charlie in. So this lady on the show, Carol Baskin, she's hated by the whole planet because Carol Baskin, basically people blame her for putting Joe Exotic in jail, and her goal was to expose the Exotic.
Joe Exotic.
Yeah, it's a long story. Joe Exotic he owns
his real
Exotic.
name?
Yeah, no, it's not his
Oh.
real name. He owns tigers, or he did until he went to prison. But he owned tigers, and Carol Baskin hated the way he was using them for, money to, wealth, to gain wealth from people petting the tigers and all that stuff. And so he felt like she was trying to shut him down, which she was. She was trying to shut him down and the whole industry, even though she was not innocent herself because she was making money off the tigers as well. So
Double standard then. Huh?
yes, double standard. But I will say this: going back to talking about her second husband came up missing. So he's a missing person, presumed to be dead, and everyone thinks that she fed him to the tigers and got his wealth. So, I mean, she broke into his old place of business and took his will out of the business and amended it, changed it, and put on there upon what was it? Um, disappearance or something, that the money and basically everything would be paid out upon disappearance.
So how can she be innocent if she went and did all that?
Well, there's a lot of proof of that she is definitely not innocent. And then even the husband, he took he gave a piece of a letter he typed up and gave it to the judge, saying that basically he feels like his life is at risk, and that he's scared of his wife. Well, they threw it out. They felt like it was just freedom of speech or whatever. You can't.
Hey, was her husband, her ex-husband, or second husband, was he a chicken?
Chicken basking.
I just wondered, because we went down to Branson last year. We fed lions and tigers.
Yeah.
And they chicken.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow. Well, Dad, yeah. So, anyways, he came up missing, and she got money from it. So everybody thinks she did it, that she chopped him up and fed him to the tigers. Here's a new theory that I don't think is floating around yet, and I might be the first person to drop this.
Here on You Could
Yes.
Be Famous podcast.
That's right. Okay, so there's a scene where the gardener guy, the basically handyman for Carol's ex-husband who's missing, he said there was a time right before he went missing that he said to the gentleman, I can't remember his name, if I pull this off, this will be, don't quote me on it, I'm paraphrasing, this will be one of the greatest things or something along those lines. So he was telling him that he's trying to do something basically, and if he pulls it off, it would be one of the greatest things he's ever done in his life, or something along those lines. So, and then he ends up missing, and they can't find him anywhere. So what I think,
Wait, the one that said this, if I pull this off, ends up missing?
yeah, that's the second husband. So he ends up missing. They find a vehicle at the airport. Well, he was also a pilot, but the logs didn't show anything about him being, like, any flight reports of anyone leaving. He had been going down to Costa Rica. He had another girlfriend down there. So my theory, I know you're wanting to hear me talk about the theory, so let me tell you what I think. Maybe he set up Carol. He wanted her out of his life. He left a little bit of money, but she didn't realize that he had a whole lot more, a nest egg that he was building in Costa Rica. And so he set everything up to make it look like he gave the letter to the judge to point the finger, give evidence that, make them put them on her trail. And then all of a sudden he just left. And he had everything already planned, which is why he told the guy, if I pull this off, this would be, dot, dot, dot. That could be what happened. And maybe he's down in Costa Rica right now, just chilling and watching that Netflix special.
Sipping on a margarita?
He's probably watching Tiger King, laughing all the way to the bank.
Maybe he's watching his podcast.
Yeah.
That'd be kind of...
Maybe he is. He's probably like...
He's like, oh no, they got me.
They figured it out, but no one else will figure it out. So I don't know, guys. It's a good theory. If you think or you agree with me, or if you have any other theories, definitely leave a comment in the description below. And yeah, that would be cool. I want to know what you guys think about it, because
I want to know how many people watch that show. So.
Millions. Millions of people. And they made a fortune off that show. So, anywho.
After Dr. Exotic, was that his name?
Dr. Exotic. No, there is a guy in there called Doc. He's a pretty interesting person. He had several wives. And, yeah, he's crazy, along with pretty much all of them. They are all...
Several wives makes you a doctor?
Well, they call him Doc something, and I keep forgetting his name. He's just so crazy, dude. He's got this like whole village that he set up with tigers in it and all these young women that live on the property, and it is just trippy. So I don't know. Most of you have watched the show. Charlie hasn't. But yeah, I want to know what you think about it, and also what you think about Waco. Those are the two TV shows that I've been watching, or that I've watched just recently, Tiger King and then Waco currently. So, but anyways, moving on from that, I did want to talk more about my experience doing medical studies. On my last podcast, I actually, sorry, I have a friend of mine.
You referred yourself as a guinea pig in that one, didn't you?
Yeah, I'm a human guinea pig.
More like a pincushion, though, isn't it?
Yes. And so, yeah. So, anyways, with the medical studies, I've been doing it for since 2012. Some people, they saw the last podcast. I didn't really get too much into it. We kind of went off on another rabbit trail, but there's people requesting to know more about it. And so basically, I wanted to explain to you guys more about the medical research and how I got started into it and basically how it all works. So here we go. Basically, what you do is you contact this place. I don't want to mention the name. And there's several of them all over the country. And you see what studies they have available. And when you find one you're interested in, you contact them, call them on the phone, and then you ask them about it. So I would call in and be like, my name's Jason. I was interested in this study. And it'll say how many days it is, how many times you dose, what are the procedures, what the drug is for, what they're investigating for, and how much they pay. Most people obviously care more about how much the money payout is. So they don't really care about anything else other than that. So for example, this last study I did, it was for 19 days. So I had to stay in house for 19 days, and it paid me $5,400. That was brutal though, because 19 days stuck inside where you couldn't go outside, and the quarantine was going on, so I really wasn't missing out on anything. So, but when you go in there,
My question is, what do you do when you're in there?
so when you get into the study, you you check in the morning. I'm kind of jumping ahead of myself. So after you get the phone call, you contact them, and if you qualify after they ask you the questions, my little light thing is about to fall down like I thought. Well, hopefully it stays up. I got this this ghetto rigged diffuser over the light, and it looks like it's about to come down. So sorry, I'm so distracted. I got someone on the phone I was talking to about calling in, and now this light thing's peeling off. It's probably because it's heating up really bad, but hopefully it doesn't fall. So going back to that, sorry about all the distractions. It's so once you call them, go through the questions, find out how much it is, and then if you make it through, then they have you come in for a screening appointment. And once you make it into the screening appointment, they ask you more questions. They check your BMI. They also ask you more,
What's BMI?
like your body mass index, and mine kind of hangs around the 30-ish. So I barely make it in. I used to be able to make it in really easily, but so anyways, once you do that, then they do EKGs, ECG, and they do blood work, and after that, you wait to get a phone call. And
Have you ever had an EGG while you're there?
EGG, an egg? Yeah, I've had an egg. No, so then you wait to get the phone call. Then when you get the call saying whether you made it or not, they'll tell you when to check in if you made it. And usually it's in the morning, like 6 a.m. And they check your bags in. You go to your room. It's like basically they have a common area where there's a couch and TVs and stuff, and then it's like a hospital room with different hospital beds laid out, and you go in and you just you get your spot. You'll have your initials. They don't like put your full name out there. They just put your initials. Mine are JLM, so I'll find my bed that says JLM. Put my stuff under there. Get my scrubs on. Go back to do the procedures. They do urine and all that to check if you did drugs or something. Come in like smoking pot or whatever. Um, and then you kind of wait around until your results come back, and if you made it into the study, you basically don't know until the next day. Usually you dose on the next day, and you don't know if you made it in until like literally right before they dose people. So there's some studies I haven't made it in, but so you made it in, you dosed, they come through, and they do everything through military time, and they time it. Everything is like, I think, in 3-minute increments. So the first person ahead of you will go, and then they'll do 3 minutes later or 5 minutes, something like that. And then it'll go from there, and then they have the procedures. So so someone dosed, then you'll have someone come through with the ECG machine, and they stagger that down the line, and then they'll have someone come in with a blood pressure, and they'll go down the line, and then that's just basically how they do everything. And then when you eat basically hospital food, so all that's timed. You have to be in the cafeteria and take your first bite at 1400, whatever the time may be, and you have to wait. So once they tell you you can take your first bite, then that's when you do it. So that's the medical research. And so you basically stay there the whole time. When you're done, you check out. In about a couple hours, they load the money on your card. They give you half of it, and then they give you the other portion after you're done with follow-up visits. So most studies have outpatient visits. Some they do not. And so this last one I didn't, but they wait until the study's completely over. After you're done with all your outpatient visits, all your blood work has been collected, and you're good to go, and then they load the rest of the money, usually like 2 or 3 days later. So, but there's people that do it for a living, and they travel all over the place, and some people don't do it the way you're supposed to, because you're supposed to only do every 30 days. You got to wait 30 days before you can do another study. And unfortunately, there's so many people that just they'll jump from one study, $6,000, go to another state, jump on another study. But basically how they try to combat that is some facilities use this program called VCT. I cannot remember volunteer something. But the system is like a program that your social security number goes into. And if you had done a study somewhere, all it says is that you did a study and the date that you did it. It doesn't say anything else. It doesn't say where. And so it keeps people from double studying, like jumping from one study. Not all of them do, so they just go to the ones that don't have VCT. And so anyways, it's a big business. People make thousands of dollars doing it. And like I said before, I get a crazy amount of hatred towards this, but I just kind of deal with it. It's a part of the beast. People don't understand it, and they don't think it's a good way to make a living, risking your body. But everybody's got their opinions and stuff, so I just have to deal with it. It comes with it. So of course, not everybody's going to agree with that. So, but yeah, that's the medical research studies. I did have. Let's see here. I actually got a. Let's see here. Is there anything you wanted to say about? Have you ever thought about doing a medical study?
Numerous years ago, back in Kalamazoo.
Michigan?
That's all I just thought.
You thought about doing a study
I
then?
thought, yep.
Wow. Well, you heard it from the man himself in Kalamazoo, Michigan. He thought about. I don't even think there's research facilities there.
Yeah, there's a big pharmaceutical company there.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna bring on a friend of mine. His
Hello.
Hey Randy, what's up, man? I
Hey,
got
man.
you.
How are you?
I got you live on the podcast.
Great.
The
Great.
timing
Great.
was perfect.
Excited to do this.
I was a little distracted because I was trying to I was trying to talk about uh the medical studies, and I was trying to communicate with you at the same time, and so
Oh, yeah.
I'm like stuttering, and people are like, what the heck's up with this dude? And then my diffuser light is the tape. I taped it to the ceiling, and
hmm
it's starting to come down, and so I'm like
Oh, no.
so distracted. But anyways, I got you on.
That's
This is
fine.
my buddy Randy. I actually met him in a medical study, and I walked them through like how it all starts from the start to beginning to the end. And so, what is your take on medical studies? Do you get a lot of hate from it?
Well, it's definitely very interesting, the people you meet there, to say the least. Um, I like it. I mean, I don't think it's that bad. I think, we're doing something great helping people out with,
Hmm.
different diseases and, you know, what may just, different things in life and that they go through, whether it be cystic fibrosis. I did a study for that one time. Did a breast cancer drug that didn't go very well.
Did you get
Um,
breast cancer?
no, no.
People do that to me.
Actually,
That's
yeah, that
actually
one
good.
was, yeah, that one is pretty bad. It actually affected my moods a lot,
Oh,
and so that was really interesting. I actually got to stay for the whole study, but they quit dosing me on like the second or third day.
oh my
So,
God, dude.
and I
You're
got
not
paid for
helping
the
my
whole
case
thing.
here.
Right. But
Yeah, moving
I've
on.
done like right. I've done like 8 studies and I've never had an issue. That was the
Mhm.
only one, and so.
Right.
But it's I mean for the most part, the side effects you usually have are probably just like headaches if you get that, but it's not bad.
Did
Not
you
bad at all. It's good.
did you start lactating?
I did.
Okay.
That was one thing I
Okay, I
was
think I'm gonna
afraid
stop doing
to
studies.
yeah. So okay. Conversation over.
No, that's funny, man. No, that's funny. No, it doesn't happen. I mean, of course, any drug you take, and they tell you this there, you could possibly have side effects. Like
Right.
you can get it from Tylenol or whatever, but it is more risky when you're doing an unknown drug that's never
Right.
been investigated before. But like you were saying, the thing I like, other than the money that you make, of course, is I love the people that I met. I mean, I would have never met you probably if I wouldn't have done that
wait a minute
study.
here.
Yeah.
You told me it was the food.
The food, yeah, right. Dude, the food sucks.
Yeah, that's another good thing about those studies. Is they cater in this wonderful gourmet food. It's just, you just can't beat it. I mean,
Guys, he is lying through his teeth. Man, that disgust. You remember that nasty? What is that? That chicken and grape. It's got like chicken grape. It's a chicken salad with grapes in it.
the chicken salad, that's actually my favorite meal there.
Oh, it's so gross, dude. I had to sit there and like pick out the celery out of the thing. It's so disgusting, dude.
That's chicken salad.
Well, it's got celery
chicken
and little
salad.
diced onions in it. And you know I hate onions. But
Yeah, that's
so
my favorite meal. That and the snacks that they do, because they do like these snacks right before you, like an hour before you go to bed, and it's different ones every night. And so my favorite one was the Cheez-Its and grapes.
oh, the Cheez-Its and grapes. Well, this last study I did, I was trying to slim down, and so I did not eat all of my meals, and I didn't eat my snacks. So And I lost like 11 pounds, dude. And then immediately when
Yeah,
I got out, like the next day, like I gained all those 11 pounds back and then some.
So tell us
yes,
about the
it's pretty
restrictions on food.
crazy. Yeah, it's pretty crazy how much weight you can actually lose going being there and stuff. And because I usually do intermittent fasting
Mm-hmm.
on a normal basis, and so um, it's a pretty easy way. And you go there, you just you don't eat until lunch,
Right.
and but sometimes you have to eat the breakfast with the medicine that you take.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's pretty easy.
And yeah, and it's a high fat breakfast too, usually when they do it. So it's
Right.
like buttery
Yeah.
eggs and buttery toast and just butter, lots of butter,
No
And
coffee
most
though.
of the women,
no coffee.
they say women usually have an issue
Eating all
finishing
the
those breakfasts.
yeah,
Yeah. So they have you talked about how the women are the ones that usually get into the study first, and so
yeah.
if they can't finish the breakfast, then the backups for the men they'll definitely be the next ones to go. And
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there. I guess women are very highly sought after in studies. I've noticed that, like whenever I have done studies before, like throughout the years, I've noticed that they would, like the women would be ahead of the line, and so I'm sure they got their reasons for that. So, but yeah, I mean, it's an interesting business. I mean, you can make a lot of money doing it, and yeah, you're helping people for sure because like I was telling somebody, I had a someone I know. I won't mention their name, of course, but they were kind of getting on to me, and um, about doing the studies. They basically rebuked me, and I told them I was like, well, look, for one, you chew tobacco, so don't give me this crap about doing studies. When you chew tobacco, that's proven to cause mouth cancer, and
right.
two, um, if you got in a car accident, vitamins and healthy organic food is not going to save your life. You know what I
hmm
mean? Like the medications that were proven, that were tested, will save your life. I mean, how many people are living on this earth because of the medications that were created? Now,
Right.
I'm not like all on board for the pharmaceutical companies and like all into everything they're doing, like especially the psycho, like what do you call them, the like the medications for mental illness and stuff. I think that has really been damaging, but
hmm Yeah. I mean, it's a very touchy subject, especially with people in the Christian,
oh yeah,
area.
oh
I mean,
yeah,
it's like it. But here's the deal: like people with mental illness, that like you can go break your arm, you get a cast, you have to have knee surgery. You
right,
see those things. People with mental illness, you don't see what's going on with the brain,
sure,
unless you do an actual like CAT scan and stuff. You can actually see what's going on, and but it's a really touchy subject among the
yeah,
Christian group, and it's
right,
like it's really frustrating because, and unfortunately, there's a lot of people that deal with it.
hmm,
I know I personally do. I struggled with depression for many years,
yeah,
and so it's you know, when you have been raised up in a church, um, they really frown upon that,
yeah,
and they think that you're just not praying enough, or you're living in sin or something, and that you
yeah,
should just overcome,
yeah,
and you're not reading the word enough. But here's the deal: you know, there's genetic things that can happen that can cause issues. So
right.
yeah,
No, I agree with you, and I've like I was saying earlier before we got on the phone with you, I've just kind of accepted that when you do something like this, you're gonna find people that just think you're crazy and they don't agree with it, and that's just the way it is. I mean, that's pretty much the way it is with
mhm,
life anyway, with anything you do. There's people that are on board for what you do, and then there's people that think you're totally out of your mind. But I try to focus
right,
on my own self instead of other people and what they do in their life. Um, but yeah, I mean the medical industry is, it's interesting. And after doing like the medical research side, I can understand why medication is so expensive. I can understand why the going to the hospital is so expensive, because the amount of money they have to put into these studies just to get it out on the market. And what does it take, like
Hmm.
10 years before it gets out there?
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. The amount, you know, of money that's put into this industry. And I mean, I don't remember exactly how much the pharmaceutical uh, industry makes every year, but I mean, it's huge,
Yeah,
huge, huge, huge money
it's
maker. And
astronomical amount.
yeah,
Um, but and with all that, it's just, I don't know. There's always more to everything, and so at first I was like, man, these guys are real crooked, and I think for the most part, probably a lot of them are, and they take advantage of the system, but um, it's expensive. I mean, I know like the studies that we do, they'll pay out. They have $10,000 studies and they dose like 40 people. That's
hmm
insane, man. And they pay out all of that. So it costs a lot to do the studies, and a
yeah.
lot of money
There's
goes
a
in.
yeah, yeah. There's a study that is in Salt Lake City that I'm actually looking into for the next couple months. They have a 30-day study and a 45-day study,
Hmm.
and I think one of it's like 15 grand. The other, I can't remember how much it is, but I mean it's a lot of money.
Holy cow, man. Well, I'm
Hmm.
trying to move out of doing it, but it's been beneficial. So I'll go and knock out a study, and then I'll take that money and pay off, or pay like rent ahead for a few months, and so it's pretty
Right.
good. But anyway, so that's the medical research industry. But the real reason I wanted to have you on the phone is, and we're gonna segue right into this next segment. Uh, is the COVID-19 thing that's going on around the whole world. And you and I were talking earlier about it. And you recently had to go and get tested for the COVID-19. You want to walk us through, like, uh, when you started developing symptoms and what you were feeling, and then how it all played out?
Well, I'd say about probably a week ago, last Sunday, I started having a lot of fatigue for like 2 days, and it literally felt like I was gonna just pass out because I was so tired. And I usually am not like that, and so it was like that for 2 days or so. And then the next 2 days after that, I dealt with a lot of body aches, fatigue, and then migraines. With the migraines, I had 102 fever, 101, and a
Oh,
lot
wow.
of 99.5 or whatever. Um, and so it was like that every other day. It seemed like I would feel fine, and then it would hit me again. And it take everything out of me. It's really weird. And in the past, when I've been sick, I've never really been one to have a fever. I
Right.
mean, ever. A couple of years ago, I had to go to the emergency room because I had a really bad flu bug, and I actually had a seizure and passed out at work. And so
Golly.
I had a friend take me to the emergency room, and I didn't even have a temperature then. So this was really weird, and I, didn't feel normal at all. And so, anyways, I went and got tested, and they when you go this drive-through testing thing that I had to go to,
Hmm.
you pull up with your windows rolled up, and they'd show you this. They'd have these signs, and they would these papers. They would say like, show me your ID,
Right.
proof of who you are, blah blah blah. And then they'd say crack your window down, and then you would make this agreement, and then and then they'd have you roll your window down, and then all of a sudden they tell you to put your head back to the seat, and then they stick this Q-tip looking thing that was like maybe 7 inches, I don't know, eight
Oh,
inches, I have no
man.
idea, and it would literally like go, it'd touch your brain, and they like swish it
Oh,
around for like 10
oh.
seconds. I saw Trump talk about it a couple weeks ago about how unpleasant it was, and it really was. and I mean, it was not fun at all.
Golly,
So
man.
yeah, but actually, and then I got the results back today, and actually it came back negative. So I was really
That's good.
surprised because, yeah, I'm really relieved. Mainly just because, I can go somewhere and not have fear that I'm gonna make someone definitely sick, and
Hmm.
so
I'm sure it was a relief for everybody in your circle too that have been around you. Uh,
yeah,
so
yeah,
I bet
it really was.
your
But
girlfriend's
yeah,
probably happy
it was
too.
really interesting. Yeah, yeah, everyone in the house is very relieved.
Wow. Well, I'm glad you don't have it, man. That's
Maybe we gotta get one of them Q-tip things, and
oh, we
I'll
could do
try it on.
the
I'll try
COVID
it on you.
challenge.
Yeah, try it on you.
Dig it right in my brain. Oh, that'd be great. We could do that on our next segment. Shove a
Do
giant.
what?
We're talking about doing a Q-tip challenge, like the
Oh,
COVID challenge. Our next segment, we're gonna take this ginormous Q-tip and shove it way up in our nose, and see if we can
yeah.
touch our brain. No, I don't think we'll do that, Charlie. God, I keep hitting this microphone. So, yeah, man. So I'm glad you're okay and that you can move forward from this, knowing that you're gonna survive. Um,
Mm-hmm.
that's a relief.
That's
Right.
always a good thing.
But you don't know that. That's the other thing is now you don't know what you did have.
Right.
So are you
Yeah,
still
it
feeling
definitely did
stuff?
not feel. No, like I feel fine right now, but like I said, it would be like this for like a day or two, and then it would just come back and hit me really bad. And so
Wow.
I don't know. I guess it just might have been a different bug, or
Hmm.
it was pretty crazy. But
Did you get the
it's
squirts? Sorry.
no, no,
TMO.
Too much info.
right?
Sorry, I had to
Goodbye.
drop that in there. Uh,
No,
yeah,
thank God I did not.
yeah. Well, that's cool, man. Well, is there anything else you wanted to say about your experience with the possibility of having COVID-19? Were you scared? Like,
So the only time I was really scared was when I would start to get my migraines and I had a fever.
mhm,
I definitely was having some chest pressure,
yeah,
and it definitely felt like someone was kind of pushing in my rib cage and stuff, or down on my sternum. And it
right.
was really, that kind of made me nervous because I have had double pneumonia before, really bad, and I ended up in the hospital. And so, um, you know, it was scary just hearing some people have really bad respiratory issues with this. And
Mhm,
I watched a podcast with Joe Rogan talking about one of his best friends, had it, was like
mm,
43 or 44, and was a pretty healthy guy, and ended up, in the ICU almost dying. And so that part scares you a little bit, when you start having chest pain, because you're like, crap, like, I'm gonna go out this way. So,
right.
but yeah, I mean, pretty much I just had mild symptoms, and what I thought I had it, but so yeah, I mean, that was the only scary part,
Right.
Maybe he had COVID-8.
because you don't know, like, you don't know if it was gonna, if you did have it, like, you don't
Right.
know how it's gonna affect you. It's crazy
Right.
because
Yeah.
some people can walk around with it and not even feel anything at all.
Yeah. You could have mild symptoms and you may not even have any symptoms apparently. And that's the worst part
Hmm.
because then you're like going all over the place, spreading it to the masses. So
Right.
yeah, it's starting to come down. But yeah, man, that's a relief though that you don't have it, and hopefully you feel better. Are you feeling about 80% now, or you still pretty sick?
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm pretty good. Yeah, I feel like probably 95% right now.
Wow. Well, hopefully you'll
Mm.
get 100% here soon. But I think that's all we have for you. But dude, thanks for calling in, and we definitely need to hang out. You've been back from
Yeah,
Utah for I don't know how long, a month.
yeah, about a month. Yep.
Oh, before I let you go, oh, dude, so you got to tell the audience about your experience in Utah. You got to go to whose house and clean it?
Oh, Post Malone.
Dude, he worked for a cleaning
Hmm.
company and he goes and with his boss and he's cleaning at Post Malone's house. What was that like?
Yeah. Oh man, we show up and he's got, gates at his front, in his driveway, and there's armed guards there, and it was I didn't know what to expect, so we go in there and just start cleaning stuff. You can't even take your phone out. It's you gotta have it tucked away at all times, and there's one of the security guards walking around, making sure no one's taking pictures and all that stuff, which I
Dang.
understand, or taking stuff. And I mean, he's got a foosball table that's worth like $50,000 in there.
Golly, man.
It's like all glass that he's never even touched, I guess. And then he's got like 12 cars, and they're all white.
Wow.
Lamborghinis, and I mean, it's just insane. His house is really, really nice. He's got a refrigerator. It's like $50,000, and
wow.
yeah.
Well, good for you, Post
Lots
Malone.
of guns. Yeah.
Good
Yeah.
for
It was
you.
actually really funny because we were like mopping out their floors and stuff at the last bit, and so we didn't want to track anything as far as like leaf footprints or whatever. So my boss was like, "Hey, put these shoes on." And I didn't think about it. I was like, "What? Whose shoes are these?" He's like, "Oh, they're Austin's." And I was like, "Post Malone?" And he's like, "Yeah." And they're these rainbow Crocs. And I'm like, I am not putting these things on. Like, you know who these are? And he's like, "Yeah, I do it all the time. It's fine." I was like, "Bro, I am not doing that." And so, but anyways, I put them on. I'm like, man, how many people can say I've, been in his shoes? I'm
literally been in Post Malone shoes.
Yeah.
That is
right.
Oh, that's an honor right there, man. You got to put your nasty feet in Post Malone's nasty shoes. Hey, maybe he doesn't ever clean his feet. I don't know. There's rumors that he's not a clean person, that he doesn't take a bath, but I don't think that's true. I'm sure the dude takes a bath.
He really is a nice guy, and his I got to meet his dad. His dad's super nice too.
Mm-hmm.
They're just really laid back people. So
yeah,
very nice.
Well, that's cool, man. Well,
yep.
I definitely didn't want to let you off the phone until I mentioned that. I'd actually forgotten about that you told me that. So, but anyways, thanks for calling in, and we're gonna hang out sometime soon. And when I'm done editing this, you should check it out and tell me what you think.
Sounds good.
All right, brother.
Have a great night.
All right, man. You have
Later.
a good night. See ya.
Bye.
Wow, that was
crazy.
Wasn't that cool?
Yeah.
I feel like our little
Am I the only one that doesn't know who that rapper dude is?
Post Malone.
Yeah, Post
Oh,
Malone.
Post Malone's a huge he does like rap rock. It's pretty
Sounds-
awesome.
Sounds like it's like a place where you go to take your postage.
Post Malone. He actually got that name from an auto generator, like where it makes names and stuff online, and
Hey, we
it's
gotta try
stuck,
that.
man. Yeah. Why not? Why not? That's how I got this name. Just kidding. No, I made it up. So we're gonna move into our next segment here. I don't even have to say that, but I like saying that. Just so fun. We're gonna talk about. That's right, the Kansas City Chiefs.
The Chiefs.
Chiefs. What does Andy Reid say? Let's go Chiefs. We're from Kansas City. This is being filmed in Grandview, Missouri, outside of Kansas City, Missouri. And we're huge Chiefs fans. And everybody knows that the Chiefs won the Super Bowl. And that was pretty amazing.
Yes.
So I'm going to fix this diffuser while Charlie's talking about the Chiefs.
Oh.
Where were you when all this happened? Why don't you tell us about it?
What happened when they won the Super Bowl?
Yeah.
I was actually at home by myself. Wife came over here to watch the game with Emily. I wasn't feeling that good, so I watched at home. Cooked me up some good grub. Actually got some yellow and red Chiefs pasta, and had that. And then I watched them. Scary first part of the game, but Chiefs are who they are, and they always come back and win. But interesting factoid. How many records has Patrick Mahomes broken? Well, I'm not exactly for sure. I'll have to Google that here in a second, but I do know one that just recently got broken.
Yeah, you told me about that.
He surpassed Tom Brady just recently in merchandise sales.
That's not the one I wanted. Way to go, Patrick Mahomes.
That's right.
Merchandise sales. I mean, that is a record worth shattering. And you beat Tom Brady.
Tom Brady. And an interesting fact about Tom Brady, buddy, when at work told me this. He's now down in Tampa Bay or someplace
Yep.
like that. And
The Buccaneers.
and his new merchandise apparel for down there is being the Patriot fans are still following him, so they don't even care about the Patriots. They were just following Tom Brady.
Wow. Well, he does have a lot of loyal fans, and I have to say it, as much as I don't like the dude, he's earned it.
His name,
Just hearing the name
hearing the name,
makes you sick.
makes me sick to my stomach. That happens to be my wife's ex-husband's name.
Yeah. Can you imagine if your name was Tom Brady and how many jokes you would get? And
They're two different peas and I mean, they're separate.
yeah, one's a champion and one is
Uh,
a total loser.
He said it, I didn't.
Okay, people change, everybody can change, but no, the Chiefs, man, I was so proud of them. I do want to tell you where I was when all this went down. I actually went to Charlie's from Michigan, my wife's from Michigan. His mom's whole side of the family's from Michigan, and her grandparents live in the UP, the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, and
That makes him a Youper.
yeah, a Youper, and so.
I was a troll.
And this all has to do with the Chiefs. I'm getting there. So, Emily's, my wife's aunt, teaches in China, and so she had
China.
yeah. So she was out here for a while actually, and she ended up moving her stuff from storage in Pennsylvania to the Upper Peninsula to where they bought a house, and so I just flew there. To meet them, and so I helped them unload all their stuff into their.
About halfway you met him, didn't you?
Yeah, I met them in what was it?
Cleveland.
Ohio. Yeah,
Yeah.
Cleveland, and then I rode with them up to Michigan. So I helped them do all that stuff, but that was the exact same time as the Super Bowl was going on, and so I didn't get to watch it from Kansas City, but I ended up in Green Bay Packer territory, which is right there in Wisconsin. I mean, they weren't far from Green Bay.
Yeah.
So I was watching it from a casino because we stayed in a hotel, and so there was only one other Chiefs fan, and then there was me, and so I watched it, and it was amazing. That game was like neck and neck, absolutely incredible. I'm so proud of the Chiefs. They brought it home for us. It was like 50 years before they had.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Well, and everybody knows, but
The first year I think the Chiefs existed, they won the
Yep.
Super Bowl.
No. Actually, that's where I was going to get to. The Chiefs did not win. They were the first in the Super Bowl. So the first Super Bowl that was ever held was the Packers versus the Chiefs, and the Packers won. So the Chiefs lost. And it was very close for the Packers would have played the Chiefs, but they lost. So that would have been really awesome. The Packers versus the Chiefs again, and then the Chiefs win again. But that's not how it played out. But I do have something really cool I want to share. So after I got back from Michigan, I was at the Kansas City airport, and I was sitting down and waiting for my wife to pick me up. And I'm looking at my phone, and I look up and I see this guy that looked just like a friend of mine. And then I look back down, and I look back up, and I'm like, oh my goodness. And guys, it was none other that Mr. Paul Rudd himself, and I got a picture with him. I don't know if you can see it very well on the camera, but just in case you can't. That was me and Paul Rudd. I saw him, and he went to the Starbucks counter. I kind of was like, I don't want to be that.
He was drooling.
I don't want to be that annoying fan, but this is like a once in a lifetime thing, and none of my friends probably would have believed me. So I went up to him and stood behind him. I said, "Excuse me," and he obviously knew exactly what was going to happen. And he turns around, and he's like, "Yes." I was like, "Are you Paul Rudd?" And he just kind of smirked, and he's like, "Yeah." He wasn't very enthused at all. I mean, I can't say he wasn't friendly, but whatever. Just a random person coming up to him he doesn't know, and I was like, "Do you think I could get a picture with you?" And I was kind of starstruck, I have to admit it. And he's like the biggest celebrity I've ever met in my life, and so he's like, "Sure," and I leaned in for that photo you saw. And I asked him where he was heading off to, and he said New York. And it sounded like his voice was like raspy, but he was obviously here for the Chiefs parade, and he was heading out that day. So I had caught him right when he was flying out. But I think he partied the night before, and that's probably what happened. He got crazy, and so that was my my little snippet or whatever you call it, snippet about
Your claim to fame.
my claim to fame.
I've
Can't
got
talk.
I've got a claim to fame, but mine was a Kansas City Royals player that flipped switches and went to play football and ended up with the Raiders.
Oh wow, it's crazy.
Yep, I met him at a food show.
Was he a pretty cool guy?
Um, no, when I introduced myself and told him I worked for, he got kind of a little upset because he went to a store and he had his product
Mm-hmm.
was blocked by a great big sticker from a competitor. So I had to hear about that. He went,
Oh, so it wasn't a good experience. Huh. Bummer.
the other one is um, okay, never mind because I don't.
Charlie can't even remember.
Not name with names very good tonight.
Well, so in the news currently today, I've been talking lately about Kim Jong Un. I really don't know why. I guess because it's in the news, but I saw that Kim Jong Un is no longer in North Korea, and I actually pulled up He's left North Korea. It's New York Post. Kim Jong Un may have left North Korean capital as health rumors swirl. And apparently China sends team including doctors to North Korea regarding Kim Jong Un. Wow. So apparently
I heard he's left the planet.
maybe, but there's all kinds of rumors about him that people just don't know. It's a hermit kingdom, a hermit country, but he apparently had a surgery or something, and there's complications, and the reports I saw before today said that he was in grave danger, that his health was at risk, like his life. And today I just happened to open up the news, and I saw that he is no longer in the country, that he left. So
I could be leaving the planet too.
that could be. So maybe, I mean, there's a lot of things. I heard that he possibly could have COVID-19.
Could be.
Maybe he does have COVID-19. He just got sick.
Is that why China's sending doctors there?
It could be. Very much so. He may be in China. That might be where they evacuated him to. But anyways, all I know is the dude is a ruthless dictator that, like any other dictator, deserves to no longer be a leader of the country. I can't say that he deserves to die. I guess the human in me says, yes, hang the dude. He's horrible what he does to his own people. But um, yeah, it's what he's done is just, it's ruthless. I mean, how could you torture your own people? Starve them when you're living in a palace. I mean, you would think that any country would want to have pride for themselves. They would want to uh, be known for being a healthy country that loves their people and they achieve great things. But instead, this country is like known for being a murderous, dictatorish, like that's not even a word, but regime that's just ruthless. And this guy's just living like a king or
Yeah.
like a dictator.
Yeah.
So
I heard you could get put to death if you got your hair cut like his.
yeah, I mean, stuff like, I don't know if that's actually true. I would imagine it would be because they could do whatever they want there. They're not bound by any rules except for the leader himself. But what happened to that, what's his name? Otto Warmbier or whatever. I think it's Otto Warmbier. I can't say his last name, but
Oh, you're about as good as names tonight as I am.
I know I can't talk tonight, guys. I'm sorry. I'm just tired. So, but that's part of the comedy. Laugh. No, Otto Warmbier. He apparently was there for a trip, and he stole something, like a poster, and he was, it was just an innocent thing. It wasn't really a big deal. And like in the United States, that wouldn't have been a big deal. But in North Korea, that gets you 15 years in hard labor prison or dead, like what happened to him. So, and they just basically brought him back, like Trump got him back, and it was horrible. Like the kid was basically dead. So, and then when he came back, he just couldn't bounce back from it.
Yeah, I do remember that. I don't think he stole the poster. It was like brochure or something.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, they hate America, so they just hate us. So probably any reason that they can do to hurt us. So, but yeah, I feel bad for his family and what they went through and the people in North Korea. I hope one day that the walls come down, just like in Berlin when those walls came down and the freedom happened. I think that day is coming. People think that when Kim Jong-un, like let's say he dies from this, that all of a sudden the North Koreans are liberated. I'm sure it's a next step towards that, but there's another person that steps in, and they could be worse than him. So, but that would remove the Kim family,
Right.
From power. So, or at least I assume. But yep, that's Kim Jong Un in North Korea, and I usually I say I hope for the best for people and pray for their healing, but maybe him leaving the earth is not a bad thing, unless he changes and just hands himself over.
He could.
So it's possible. But anyways, we're at an hour. I can't believe it. We've had so much fun.
Oh, yeah.
I've talked most of the time. I've had a lot of Mountain Dew and coffee today, so that's why I'm like real
He's
fat.
got to make up because they don't get to have coffee in the studies because of caffeine or pop or anything like
Can't.
that.
Nope.
So-
So, but our last thing we want to cover, and the most important thing, when you see Charlie on this show, we're going to be doing What's in Charlie's Bag. Now, I used to have an effect on here that said, What's in Charlie's bag? But it wasn't very good. So I'm going to come up with something better. But right now, we're going to do What's in Charlie's Bag. And he's going to surprise us. So I'm pretty excited about it. Oh, that's a fancy bag there. It's got me dizzy.
I upgraded. Do you want spicy hot first?
Oh. Dang it, he's doing a spicy challenge.
Because in the bag there's several things.
What's inside this bag, Charlie? You got me scared.
Slim Jim Inferno fries.
Oh yeah. I don't know if we could do this for copyright reasons, but I'll find out. Can we do that? Can you show?
Other channels have, so
Okay.
I don't see
If
why
it
not.
if it gets taken down, it's not like we're making money off of this
Yeah,
anyway.
yeah.
So Slim Jim fire fries, flavored potato snacks. There you have it. We're gonna try them out. Dude, this bag is like, golly, man. I'm afraid that it'll bust and then the dust will get in my eyes. Oh! Just like that. Oh. Woo. Holy
Smell it.
cow, man. That's nuclear. That's pretty powerful. Why don't we show the camera? All right, guys, inside that bag is some Fire Inferno. They're similar to the, let me pull one out. You know, the hot fries. I used to love those things when I was a kid. So that's what it looks like. Let's get a close up the texture. Look at that beautiful texture. All right, ready?
Yeah, I guess.
Let's do it. Cheers. I mean, they're pretty.
They're pretty.
No, I got some of that powder in my throat.
They are not as bad as what they say they are.
See, it's all on the mark. It's in the marketing. They make things look so epic, and they're actually pretty good. Like I could
Yeah, they're not
I
bad
could
at
sit
all.
here and. I mean,
Let's see if it says what they use for.
don't get me wrong, they're they're definitely spicy. But I really love spicy stuff. I can enjoy that bag. I probably couldn't sit down and eat the whole bag, but it's got really good heat. Really good heat to it.
I don't see what the heat is in it in the ingredients.
Well, let's what else do you got? If you guys want this, where did you get it at? Even though we're not being sponsored by them.
My local price chop.
Local Price Chopper in Kansas City, Missouri has these. I'm sure Walmart has them in other places, but we want to give a shout out to Price Chopper. What else do you got? We'll just leave this right here. Wow, that kicks pretty good.
We have some
Oh,
flavored Oreo cookies.
oh, flavored Oreo cookies.
This is a shout out in honor to my daughter Chelsea. Tiramisu.
Oh, I love tiramisu.
This is me.
Oh, listen to that crackle.
Chocolate peanut butter pie.
Oh yeah.
And last but not least, carrot cake.
Love carrot cake.
Oh, wait.
What?
Don't they have one top? These have a thing at top.
Oh, yeah, this one doesn't. Boy, that smells good, though. You know what we should have got is milk. Oh, wow. We didn't prepare for this, guys.
I thought I sent you a test question. Didn't ask if you had milk.
We do have milk. I just didn't bring it. All right, so this is the tiramisu.
Wait. Oh, yeah, there is the brown. See? A little bit of brown up top.
Okay. So, tiramisu Oreo cookie. Boy. That is good. It's refreshing.
Chelsea, you need to go get some of those.
If you're watching, Chelsea, get some of these. We should call her up sometime and have her be on the show.
Chelsea's my youngest. Elizabeth is my oldest.
Mm-hmm. Man, they're good with Mountain Dew.
Or water.
Or water. Or milk.
This is chocolate peanut butter pie.
Chocolate peanut butter pie. All right. Okay. So you can never go wrong with chocolate and peanut butter. They just go together. Chocolate and peanut butter. Amazing. Now the cookie itself is graham flavored. So like graham crackers. So I assume you can get all this at Price Chopper.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they'll call me up and sponsor me.
Never know. I got connections.
So that's that.
Last one is carrot cake. And I almost didn't make it up the stairs because Emily almost robbed.
All right.
Robbed Charlie's bag.
Charlie's bag. All right, so that's the carrot cake. Love carrot cake. Oh, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Oh, yeah. I mean, look.
They are definitely spot on with these flavors.
Look at the texture. Like, look at the engraving of my teeth. Look at that. You can see my teeth in there. Mmm.
Man almighty, those are good.
This makes me want real carrot cake. Dude, I'd say warm, like really warm carrot cake. Oh, with a glass of milk. Ah, it's so awesome. Well, let me,
Downstairs we have regular and mint.
oh, you left the mint downstairs?
No, Emily got them.
My wife got a hold of them. Well, I'll tell you what, I like these hot fries. Mmm. Oh, don't mix them with carrot cake.
Yeah, probably not.
Not a good choice.
And Mountain Dew probably doesn't help either.
No, not at all. Wow. Oh. Anywho. All right, guys. You know what time it is? It's time to end this podcast. I'm still trying to figure out how to start, how to end. This sounds pretty good. But thank you for listening to This Can Make Us Famous podcast. It's been awesome. We covered a lot of good topics. And
thanks to our guest, what was his name?
Randy, I can't even remember Randy's name. Randy, you were forgotten. I'm sorry, man. You were listening to This Can Make Us Famous podcast. Tune in for, what is this, the episode 3?
Yeah.
No.
Well, it's actually 4.
3. This is episode 2. Or no, the last one was 2. This is 3. Yes. Congratulations to us here at This Can Make Us podcast. Tune in for the next one.
Well, now, wait a minute. This is actually 4. But the first one got destroyed.
Oh, that's true.